Ash Ketchum, the longtime protagonist of the Pokémon anime, and an icon in not only Pokémon but in mainstream pop culture. Ash has always had one dream since the day he left his house, to be the very best and the goal of becoming a Pokémon master. However, the validity of that goal has been tested by fans for decades. Fans would ridicule Ash for being a constant loser. How could he be the best if he keeps on losing? But when hope seemed lost, he rose up to the challenge, and when least expected, shocked the world and proved them all wrong. This is the story of how Ash Ketchum redeemed from failure and eventually won the Pokémon League. For years, Ash has been ridiculed for losses. League loss after league loss. For one reason or another. It was as if he was stuck in an endless cycle of failure. But what people didn't expect was all this to be a learning experience for him. Prior to Alola, he had lost 6 leagues. He would triumph over the region's gyms and his rivals, and yet he would always fall short. Some of these losses were humiliating, others were out of his control, and ones should have been his. His league to win, the trophy in his grasp, the league he sought out so hard to win, but in the end he still lost. The heartbreak from this loss to fans made them lose hope that even with the right tools and skills he couldn't win. This was a constant reminder of the past, but were those past moments really hopeless defeats, or the way he developed? Through every league, Ash evolved. He learned to trust his Pokémon, and most importantly, trust himself. He acquired the needed skills not only to lead his Pokémon, but to earn the respect from them. He learned to expect the unexpected. New things could show up that could hinder his chance to win, but he had to expect that wins wouldn't come easy, because if they were, he would be the champion already. This all cultivated all in the Alola League. No one expected him to win. We all expected more of the same, but he used all his experience to good use. He trusted his Pokémon, and in return, it paid dividends. Rowlet was ruled out, but kept fighting, in contrast to Charizard refusing to fight, and in turn, being ruled out. He had to expect the unexpected, so had to come up with something unexpected himself. When Zoroark appeared from his illusion, the only way out was to counter its surprise factor with his own. He had honed the skills to not only be able to fight legendaries, but to control his own, eventually catching Melmetal and an Ultra Beast in Naganadel. With all this in mind, you can really see how this contrasted to Ash's former losses in each league, and how he's evolved from them to eventually learn off them and add them to his skill set. With the final whistle blown, we see Ash finally win the Alola League, and prove us all wrong. We may argue Kalos was his to win, but if he did, he would have been skilled enough back then, but he wasn't. Kalos was just another learning experience. People make fun of his character, labeling him as ignorant or a loser, but his character for me is admirable and inspirational. He shows that the journey to the top won't be easy. In contrast to overpowered anime protagonists, there are obstacles that can hinder your success, and at times stop you in your tracks. However, through thick and thin, Ash continued, looking past his stagnant age. He could have given up at any point. He could have told himself he wasn't good enough, and his dream was impossible. But what separates Ash is he uses failure not as something to forget, but rather something to learn on, fuel his fire, and use for the future. His failures fueled his success, and on this day, as we celebrate the anniversary of his success in Alola, we see how Ash overcame failure.